Good evening, everyone, and welcome to meeting number 154 of Turning Point Toastmasters. Or should I say, meeting number 22 into 7 of Turning Point Toastmasters. Or I will not go into more numbers. I'll straight away get to the meeting. My name is Rupinder, and it is a proud privilege to be your Sergeant at Arms today. Starting with the rules, because you are now inside the code of conduct of a Toastmasters meeting, you have been muted by either the co host or the host. Please do not unmute yourself until it is your chance to speak and until you are called upon by the next speaker. If you unmute yourself, then out of turn, then the tech master, the co host, or the host reserve the right to mute you without further notice. We are in a Toastmasters environment. Please be respectful of what you are talking about. If you're going to talk about religion, politics, or sex, please do so in a responsible manner that does not offend anyone. As Toastmasters, I will expect you to applaud loudly and enthusiastically using the icons given at the bottom for our participants. In Toastmasters, it is customary that we encourage our participants. I would also encourage everybody to make use of headphones. It is my experience that using a headphone increases our efficacy of listening by at least 130%. With that, I will now recite the Toastmasters Club mission statement. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self confidence and personal growth. Now, how do we come to this supportive, positive learning environment? I tried explaining it as the Toastmaster of the day last week. And hopefully, today, our Toastmaster of the day, Nimit, will also do so. But before I call Nimit on stage, I would like to call someone who is probably the most diligent Toastmaster that I have seen. Somebody who personifies a never give up attitude. Someone who went on stage and spoke about his vulnerability in the international speech contest. And trust me, whoever won, and I would say that I was one of the winners, he to me was the real winner that day. And he continues to shine and show us the path, first as a sergeant at arms, then as a vice president education, and now as a president. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my proud privilege to introduce on stage our president and today's presiding officer, Toastmaster Shivam Prakash.
Thanks a lot, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. And indeed, it was guidance and the supportive and master which has been provided to me. And because of that, I have been able to reach to these heights, or in other words, I can say I was able to expand my learnings and emerge as a leader. And frankly speaking, this is my first leadership position which I got in Toastmaster. Before that, in my professional life, everywhere, I have never been in a position where I'm leading a team of five, 6 or 7 people. So this is one of the first kind of experience in my life, and I really learned a lot. And I thanks the whole Toastmasters setup, all the Toastmasters in this world for setting up this environment. And with this, uh, I will like to say the leadership and the communication styles are both interlinked. As Rupinder Singh has discussed, I have discussed my vulnerability. in international speech competition, and that vulnerability was my stammering. Indeed, even today, if I say frankly, I stammer even today. You can listen me at several instances stammering a lot, not a small bit, but sometimes stammering at two, three instances in a single sentence. But with this positive environment, with this supportive attitude of all the members, I feel that I have gained so much confidence that now I can be the presiding officer. When I joined Toastmaster, it was nearly impossible for me to think that after 12, 13 months, I will be on the stage as a presiding officer. I will be I will be leading the club as president. But this impossible became true, and that all because of support of all of you, all Toastmasters, all members. And this is what a wonder can do in your life. A Toastmaster can do. So a Toastmaster can, I can say, really transform your thinking, transform your life. And how leadership is important, it will be covered in great detail by our Toastmaster of the day. And I'd like to first take the introduction of our guest and welcome all the guests in the meeting. So I will like to call all the guests and will request you to please introduce yourself, and why you have joined this meeting and what are your expectations. So first of all, I'd like to call on the screen Toastmaster uh, Anand Kumar. So Anand Kumar, please unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Hello everyone. My name is Anand Kumar and I am currently serving as the Vice President membership at the Livan Toastmasters. And I got to know about your club meeting through the district WhatsApp group. And of course, Rupinder is here. He is probably delivering one of the speeches today. Uh, so that was a good thing. And I am here to witness your club and learn something new, which I can take from here and put across in my club over there. Thank you so much. Looking forward to the meeting.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Anand Kumar, and it is indeed very pleasure to host you in our meeting, and it's a learning experience from for both of us. We will also learn about the best practices or by your feedback where we can improve. So we will get back to you at the end for your feedback. Thanks a lot. Now I'd like to call our another guest who will also be delivering a speech, Karinda from GCTC. So, Karinda, please introduce yourself.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm Karinda from GCTC. And what attracted me to bring it to the turning point is that one day when I joined Toastmasters Club, and I joined Toastmasters Club in 2020 itself, somewhere around in February. And Rupinder sir came into our club, and the kind of speech he delivered, I was very impressed with that. Though our club is doing wonders and we are one of the strongest and one of the maximum number of Toastmasters in our club, but I actually always strive to be part of Turning Point. It's just that the timing doesn't match, and that is one of the reason I am stuck where I am. But then it's privilege for me to be part of this Turning Point Toastmasters Club. Uh, I'm very new to the Toastmasters, but then there's a lot to learn, and I've learned a lot of things during this period, and journey is endless. And one thing I want to quote that I'm really inspired with the with with the story which Shivam has told us. It's not easy to disclose your vulnerability. It's one of the you need guts and you need to be strong from within yourself, and the kind and this is all about dedication. So I really salute the people like this, and this is how uh, so we as a normal human being, there's a time when we get bored and the life goes normal, and this time we kind of need to stories or these kinds of inspiration bring the energy back to us. So thank you so much, Toastmasters.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Karinda, for your introduction, and we are looking forward for your marvelous speech in this meeting. And now I'd like to call on the screen our another guest, Samut Kumar. So, Samut Kumar, please unmute yourself and introduce. Samut, are you there? So, I think we are not able to get in touch with Samut. So, I will like to call another guest, Galaxy. So, for a Galaxy, I will request you to please rename yourself by your real name so that we can identify you. Galaxy, are you there? So we will come back to the Galaxy later on. And now I'd like to call on the stage our one of the extended member of Turning Point Toastmaster family, Toastmaster Anu Seth. So Anu Seth, please unmute yourself.
Hi Shivam, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Like you have already mentioned, Turning Point Toastmasters is definitely one of my extended family, and it's a privilege to come back and join the meeting. Looking forward for today.
Thanks a lot, Anu. And now, without any delay, I'd like to call on the stage a Toastmaster who have been playing dual role. He is Associate Vice President Education. I remember he was just 2 months old in Toastmaster when he contested for the election of Vice President membership. Although he was defeated in the election, but yet he applied for the associate position after the elections, and he started giving his service to the club as associate vice president education. And when the vice president membership at that time needed to move to some other city and hence the position got vacant, he voluntarily called me to take this position, and he has been playing the dual role. Really, it's a big inspiration for all of us. And uh, today, as a Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Nimit Mittal will share his experience and various aspects and the various facets of leadership with us. So I'd like to call on the stage Toastmaster Nimit Mittal. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shivam, for indeed that kind introduction. Good evening, one and all. How many of you want to become the CEO of a company? How many would want to be an HR, marketing, or training and education head? How many of you fancy heading finances, logistics, or administration? All these top roles call for leadership and certain other specific skill sets. It is said that leadership is a skill, just like swimming or cycling, and a skill can be learned. Unlike other training programs, where you learn how to be a successful leader by reading books or attending lectures, Toastmasters give you the opportunity to gain practical experience of leadership while helping people learn and grow in their professional and personal lives. Take Bhuvan, for example. For those who don't know him, he could not even speak two sentences in his first club meeting, went on to become the president of this club, and is now working with Haryana government with relief, preventive, and awareness measures in these crisis times. He gives the credit to Toastmasters for instilling such high performance leadership in just 1 year. Yet another example is GTM Anant, a renowned storyteller who, having served many leadership roles, says VP Education and VP PR are his favorite. In fact, he has applied the learnings to create his own brand which is growing thick and fast with ever increasing popularity on social media. There are countless such inspiring stories, and boy, there is room for countless more. I will share more success examples, but let me take a halt here to proceed with the meeting today. A typical Toastmasters meeting is divided into three sections. The prepared speech section, where three speakers today will be delivering their speeches, the table topics section, an interesting impromptu speaking section where everyone can take part, and last, the evaluation section, where the feedback and performance reports would be shared for all the speakers and role players. I would like to welcome the general evaluator of the day to explain it further. But before that, let me tell something about her. When given the opportunity to showcase leadership, she came out with flying colors. She was, in fact, the brain and coordinator behind TPTM's 125th grand celebrations. This urged her to take up the Vice President Public Relations for the club and is now helping club in marketing and promotion. Toastmaster Vishaka says this role has made her more punctual and disciplined in life. Let's welcome Toastmaster Vishaka.
Hello everyone. As general evaluator, I will be evaluating the general decorum of the meeting, the evaluators, and the role players. Today, we have 3 prepared speeches and correspondingly, we have 3 speech evaluators. I have briefed the evaluators and have made sure that they have the necessary resources to evaluate the speeches. And I trust them that they will provide engaging and encouraging feedback to the speakers. As Toastmasters, we consider communication to be the cornerstone of a leadership. A good leader needs necessarily to be a good communicator. And every good speech or every good communication should have some basic parameters of a speech formation. And to make sure that we have those parameters put in place in every speech that goes on the stage today, I have a team of 3 people, the tag team. As timer, we have a leader who has served our club as president and VP education and who keeps inspiring our members to be better. Toastmaster Shivam, can you please explain your role? Shivam.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Avishaka. I will be the timer for the evening and I will keep track of the time by each speaker and by each role player. As you know, time is a very uh, important commodity, or even I can say not important, it's a priceless, because time once gone, it cannot be bought back. You can purchase anything with money, but not the time. And hence, to keep track of the time, uh, I will show. I will share my screen and show you the cards. So for the prepared speeches, I will show green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, and red card at 7 minutes. And these cards will be up till the speaker has completed his or her speech. In case the evaluator informs me of any other timings, I will follow the same. Now coming to the table topic speakers. For the table topic speakers, I will show the green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and the red card at 2 minutes. And this red card will be up till the speaker has completed his or her speech. Coming to the evaluation session, I will show the green card at 2 minutes, yellow card at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and red card at 3 minutes. And this red card will be up till the evaluator has completed his or her evaluation. Also, I will be keeping track of the time taken by uh, other role players such as TMOD, TTM, GE, and even the tag role players. And I will share my a detailed report in the evaluation session when Madam General Evaluator will call me. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Shivam. The second member of the tag team, the R counter. Our counter for today is a prominent leader who has served as a division director and has served the club executive committees as VP PR and VP Education. He is also a distinguished Toastmaster. TTM Anant, can you please explain your role?
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Today my role is R counter, and I will help the speakers, anybody who speaks on the forum today, to become more fluent. And to do that, we need to be aware of our own pitfalls, the speed breakers. These speed breakers can be the sounds that we make while speaking. For example, it can also be, I need to mute. It can also be words, we call them as crutch words. For example, so, well, you know, but actually, basically, it can also be a pause, which is an unintentional one, maybe a short pause or a long pause, which doesn't add value to the speech. I will have to note that as well. And finally, the repeat word. For example, what I mean. The purpose of this role is to make everyone get a personalized feedback and become more aware of their own shortcomings when it comes to fluency, and take it as an encouragement and try to reduce the count successive meetings going forward. I will present my report when Madam General Evaluator, you will call me upon. Over to you.
Thank you, Anand. The third member of the tag team, the grammarian. Toastmaster Sumit, who is very keenly fulfilling the responsibilities as an associate VP education for our club. Toastmaster Sumit, can you please explain your role?
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. As a grammarian, my role is to paying close attention to all the speakers, listening to the language usage. I will take note of all the inappropriate uses of the language, as well as outstanding words, sayings, thoughts, or quotes. As a grammarian, my responsibility is also to introduce the word of the day. Word of the day is equivocate. Uh, the meaning of the word is ambiguous language so as to conceal the truth or avoid committing. The so, uh, it can be used as in the following example, like persons which equivocate in front of the police, then they are pretty sure that they have found the right person. I encourage everyone to use word of the day as frequently in the meeting. I will present my report when I will be called upon. Thank you.
Thank you, Sumit. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, let's keep the energy high for this meeting. Do not forget to clap. You can do this using the emojis there, and just make sure that the energy of the meeting remains high. I'll be back in the evaluation section with my team to evaluate the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, for explaining beautifully the role of the tag team and yourself. Yes, I do encourage everyone to be very enthusiastic in today's meeting. And why not? Because we are talking about leadership. We're talking about the club leadership, to be very specific. And in a club, in a Toastmasters club, there are 7 executive roles. I would be touching upon them very briefly through the course of the meeting today. If I talk about the president of a club, he's like the CEO who collaborates with his executive committee, external leaders, and takes full responsibility of the actions and decisions he makes. He has to be prepared for any kind of circumstances and opportunities coming his way and make the most of it. Similar case is with our speakers for today, who have collaborated with their mentors and are prepared to make the most of this opportunity. With that, I would like to bring you the prepared speakers for today. The first one is our guest speaker from GCTC, who is actively associated with Teach India campaign and is a proud member of the healthcare sector, where he is contributing to make life-saving drugs. According to him, VP Education is a role which is most exciting as it deals with different mindsets and helps everyone grow. But before bringing him on the stage, let me introduce you with his evaluator. His evaluator for today is none other than Toastmaster Sonali. According to her, VP PR and VP membership are the two roles which are most exciting, as, as it takes a lot of creativity to create the brand and then to ideate and maintain it for few members, for the new members. An emerging leader who has recently taken a lead on submitting our club entries on virtual victories page on Toastmasters International website. That's impressive, isn't it? So here to you, Evaluator 1, Sonali.
Hi everybody, thank you Namit for such a sweet introduction. And hi Karinda, welcome to Toastmasters, Turning Point Toastmasters Club. I am sure you're going to enjoy your meeting with us today. So Karinda is going to attempt his speech on level 2, project 2. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. Also to share the impact of his or her style on others. All the very best, Karinda. I'm anyway glued to your screen because you have the best background right now with the kitchen there. I hope everybody else does. I will present my report in the evaluation section. All the best and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sonali and Shivam, for such a warm welcome. It's been a privilege to be part of this Toastmasters Club. So I'll start off with my speech. Every one of us has a unique way of communication. In fact, when a child takes a birth, it shows its own existence in different way of communicating. So good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today I will talk about our communication style. Every one of us has a distinguished or different kind of communication style, but there are some patterns which we follow. And when we follow this communication style, it becomes our personality, as Toastmaster Shivam explained in the very beginning, that our communication style and leadership goes hand in hand. So our personality, when we start communicating that way, it becomes our personality. So before I begin with, I'll start off type of communication style which we have. So I'll start off with first one. The first communication style is direct. The direct communication style can remind me one of my skip manager. And I can completely agree that this is the particular style which people carry. Such kind of personality are very to the point. They do not like beat around the bush. They are decisive and they are very confident. They are object oriented and they want result rather than talking here and there. They do not want repetitive word to be used. So it's always that you talk to these people uh, directly and give what they want. This is first communication style. Now I'll go to the second one, which is initiating. This communication style is very different when people is engaged in socializing himself or herself. They like to be part of center of attraction, and they are very social when they want to talk to many people. They're very energetic, enthusiastic, and spontaneous. And this kind of fun-loving personality, I can correlate with one of my colleagues, and I can see the kind of response people give to him. It's important that apart from working, you have some personality which attracts other people to and this is how you get visibility also. And because of this gregarious nature, sometimes this kind of personality is being treated as that the person who speaks more and listen less. But that is not the case. But this is how he is being perceived. Now I'll talk about the other one, which is third one, which is analytical. This is kind of communication style is precise, exact, analytical, and logical. They talk about numbers. So when we approach these people, they are very systematic, task oriented, and because they talk about numbers, they are being counted as a Mr. Perfectionist because they want to work uh, perfectly. So they look at the numbers and based on that they take the decision. So this is third communication style I was talking about. I'll come up with the last one, which is supportive. The supportive communication style is the last one when this kind of personality is calm, cool, steady, approachable, sincere, and these people are called gentle. They are very cooperative. They listen to people and thereafter they reply. And these kind of personalities need to be uh, need to open up. So they need to talk more. And most of the people carry the same personality. So I've spoken about four personalities, kind of communication style which we usually carry. So my first question is, I was, I, and to all the audience which we have, which is the best communication style? Do you think, as per your understanding? Any one of you can answer this, or maybe may not be. So my question is, there are
I
four
can
communication
answer.
styles.
I can answer. There is no such thing as the best communication style. It depends on each and every individual as to how they adapt themselves to a particular style.
Perfectly said. So thank you, Rupendra, Toastmaster Rupendra. This is the right answer. There's no as such personality which is the best communication style. Every communication style is unique and has equal weightage. First of all, we need to understand our communication style, and it is very tough to understand because you need to go through many questions. I was going to Toastmasters questionnaire and got to know that my communication style lies somewhere between analytical and supportive, but I am more focused on supportive. Whatever communication style we carry, the most important fact is that are we adapting the communication style which other person is there? So when we approach somebody, we need to adapt the communication style. For example, I'll take one example. It's me, and I'm going to invite my colleague, which is a first communication style, which is a directive. I invite him for my marriage. Hey, I invite you for marriage. My marriage is in Mathura. Will you come? The answer from the direct communication style would be, I'm sorry, I'll not be able to come because it's too far or whatever reason it is. He will not beat around the bush. He will simply come to the point. Now, taking the same example, I go to the second one, which is a initiating communication style. Hey, I invite you for my marriage. So what is your plan? Now this guy will talk about how many people are coming, who is coming, how is happening, and then later on he will say no. So there's a different way of saying no. Now I'm going to the third one, which is analytical. Analytical would do, what will do? He will analysis how much time will it take, how much cost will be done, and basis that he'll decide. And the last one is supportive. So supportive communication style, same communication style. This kind of communication style need to be open up. So you need to ask many questions and then he'll let you know what is that he is going to do. So my point, what all I want to communicate is that whatever communication style which we carry, the most important for us is to adapt the communication style of the person you are talking to or you are dealing with, especially when you are working in corporate world. It's important you understand your manager, your skip manager, your colleague, or your partner function or stakeholders, and accordingly you adapt the communication style. It will ease out your work, and I'm sure it will help you to get success. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster KMOD, Namit.
Thank you, Karinda, for your speech. We really enjoyed it, and your props right, to explain all the different types of communication styles. And I hope you thoroughly enjoyed uh, the audience of Turning Point Toastmasters, right? So thank you very much. Uh, we all would take 1 minute to provide feedback to Karinda, and let us ensure that we are just pinging him one to one. There's an option to just give him the feedback one to one in your chat box,
kind of.
the right hand side. So timer, please intimate me once the 1 minute is over.
Do I need to speak or something happening? Nimit?
Yes, Karinda.
Okay, so the only thing which I see in every club, and I've joined a couple of the Toastmasters club, including the MGTC and some other Toastmasters club, and every club has its unique way of communicating and different way of running the club. Though we our theme is same, but then there is something which we learn.
So
And
Karinda, can we have your feedback at the end? We will have time for the
yeah, please
valuable
go ahead.
feedback.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much. So it is time, and now we would call upon our next speaker. Our next speaker has recently begun his second innings with our club, this time with much more zeal. Usually, he keeps motivating his friends and colleagues to come out of their depressed situations and with his valuable suggestions and ideas. But before I call him on the stage, let me bring the evaluator of his. He is none other than Toastmaster Anshuman, who is working for Google and was the Toastmaster of the month last month with our club, and is now contributing towards a sustainable mentorship system for the club, which adds to the cycle of growth of the members as part of his HPL project. So over to you, Anshuman.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Nimit. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I'm Anshuman. I'm going to be the evaluator today for Toastmaster Vineet. The purpose of Toastmaster Vineet's project today is for him to learn or review the basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. I look forward to the speech of Toastmaster Vineet, and I'll be presenting my evaluation report at the end of the meeting. Timer, please note that the time limit for Toastmaster Vineet's speech will be 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day. All the best, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Anshuman. And now I would like to call upon Vineet center stage, please. Toastmaster Vineet, mind your meals. Mind your meals. Toastmaster Vineet.
Thank you, Nimit. I was wondering that why some people are more energetic and why some people are not. I had this question before I had come into this lockdown state. I was thinking that maybe I am doing something wrong. I have not time to look upon my body, how it is reacting. I'm not able to understand how it is reacting to different states. I should be more energetic than I had been. But during this long time, I went through so many books and content to understand why this happens with us. The first fundamental thing came out of this research is the habit which we have of eating, the meals which we are taking, and the basic thing which we are not understanding about our meals, what we are having on the day-to-day basis. So this was a good opportunity for me to share my experience, my research with my Toastmaster friends, and I'm very happy to share it on my screen. So we'll go through the slides and let us see what happens when we have different kind of food in and how our body is intaking it. So let us try to understand that. All right. So to make it very simpler, I have kept this digestion process very simple and very high level view of the digestion system I put in the slide. So first thing we need to understand is in the whole digestion system, we have 5 parts. There are so many parts, but to just keep it very simple for all of you, I have kept it 5 parts. The first part where the digestion starts is the mouth. The second part is esophagus, which is the pipeline which is attached to our mouth, which takes the food from mouth to the stomach. The third part is obviously stomach, which we just discussed. And the fourth part is the small intestine, and the fifth part is the large intestine. Let us try to understand that how the food travels from mouth to the other parts of the body. So if you see, the first thing which happens in the mouth, we start chewing the food, and then we swallow the food and it goes to the stomach. It stays there for some time, and then it starts moving to the small intestine and the large intestine. Let us try to understand few more facts about our body. The first fact is the length of small intestine is 10 feet and the length of large intestine is 5 feet. What does that mean? If we unwind the small intestine and the large intestine, it is up to length 15th of feet, which is almost like the half length of the tennis playground. Which means the food which we intake will travel for this length until it is coming out of our body. Now, as I mentioned that the food stays for some time in the stomach, it depends what kind of food we are eating. It will decide how long it will stay in our body. So let us try to understand that as well. There are two kind of foods. The first one where we see that this is fast to digest. The second one which is very slow to digest. The fast digestive food stay for very short duration of time in our stomach and they go on to the different parts of the body, small intestine, large intestine. The slow digestive food takes a lot more time to get out of our stomach and then it is distributed to different parts of the body for other functions. The best guideline from the researchers is we should not mix small digestive food with the large digestive food. And the reason is there are certain kind of fast digestive food, if they stay longer in your body, in your stomach, it's going to cause so many acidity, so many gastric problems to you. That's why the reason the scientists say that we should not have juice while we having the heavy meals. Because if both of them are going to stay in our stomach for longer time, it's going to impact a lot. So let us try to understand how much time the liquid takes to stay in our stomach and how it is impacting if we take more liquid and what kind of other scenario which we can see here. The first thing is water is digested immediately by our body. Water doesn't stay in our stomach. Whereas if we talk about the juices, they take 15 to 20 minutes in this to be there in the stomach and then they're distributed to the different part of the body. Now, it does not mean that we keep on having the liquid so that our stomach is always empty. The reason is if we keep on having this liquid again and again, we will start feeling hungry very soon. And that will cause us the intermittent eating habit. The best practice we should follow is we should have juices, but we should not have juices as direct form. We should have some contamination to it. And the reason for this is if we take on juices again and again, it is going to impact the sugar level of our body. So the researchers say that we should have juices with vegetable juice so that the sugar level is balanced and also it is not heavy on our stomach. Now let us try to understand the other form of food which we used to take, which is fruits. Usually when we eat fruit salad or we eat fruit as a whole, it takes different amount of time to stay in our stomach. Usually on an average 20 to 30 minutes it takes to stay in our stomach, but there are different varieties of food which take different amount of time to be there in the stomach and then they go away. The recommendation is we should not eat those fruit together which have different stay time in our stomach. Let's say we should not eat apple with watermelon. The reason is watermelon is quickly digested by our body, which is around 20 minutes, but apple stays for 40 minutes. So we should be eating those fruit together which have similar stay time in our stomach. Next, talk about the vegetables. Vegetable in an average take 30 to 40 minutes to be in our stomach, and then they go to the large intestine and the small intestine. Some of the vegetable like root vegetable, carrot, beetroot, they take 50 minutes. There is no such recommendation for the vegetable that how we should take, but it is recommended that we should take in their direct form. We should not process them too much that it stays in our body for the longer time. Grains and beans. What we are covering here is the rice, wheat grain, oats. So if we look at the grain, they stay for almost 1.5 hours in our body. The other thing is the grain, which is there in the form of nuts, not grains. There's some other food which we take like nuts and let's say we take seeds, pumpkin seeds. They also take 2 hours to stay in our stomach. There's no such recommendation for grains and beans. The only recommendation is they are part of the slow digestive food. So we should be having this kind of food in the afternoon, because if you keep this diet in your early day, you will feel dizzy, you will feel unenergetic and lousy. So that's the recommendation from the scientists, that we should be having our food which is taking more time to stay in our body in the afternoon, and we should not mix up with the other food which is fast digestive. The best way to digest the food is to have the fast digestive food first and then the low digestive food, so that the fast one should be quicker to go out of our body, and the slower one will take some time, and it is not inhibiting the process of digesting the fast processing food. Let us talk about the dairy and meat products. Skim milk, low fat cheese take around 90 minutes to digest. Egg take 45 minutes, and fish take 50 minutes to digest. Looking at the chicken, it take 2 hours. Beef and lamb take 4 hours, and pork take 5 hours. How we are going to determine that what kind of food is being accepted by our body? Let us take very simple example. Suppose I have cooked some vegetable. I have put it in my kitchen for some time. It is there for 40 minutes, 50 minutes. It's not going to have an impact on its quality. The same food, if I'm having in my body, it will stay there for 50 minutes, 40 minutes, depending on the type of food. And then it will be start going out of the different part. So during the time when it stays in my body, in my stomach, it is not going to impact a lot. Why? Because it is not getting rotten as early as we are seeing the different other food varieties. Let us now think about the meat and the other product which are taking more than 2 to 3 hours in coming out of my stomach. Let us talk about pork. If someone is taking pork, and if someone is cooking pork and keeping it in the kitchen for some time, it start getting rotten early. So now think that this food is in there in our stomach for, let's say, 5 hours. Then imagine what kind of impact it will have on our stomach. It will get start degrading, decaying, and if a food is decayed, then how it is going to impact the other part of body, because the total process takes 1 to 3 days in completing the food digestion. So whatever we have discussed is all about the stomach. So there are some recommendation about our meals, which is like, first thing, always eat fruit before your main course, because if fruit is staying in your stomach for the longer time, it is going to cause you the acidity problems. The second thing, avoid pure juice. Instead, we should have the vegetable juice with that, so that we can have the control on the sugar. The third thing is, do not overstress your body by having the slow digestive food in the morning itself. We should be having the slow digestive food in the afternoon, and in the morning and the night we should have the fast digestive food. In the last thing is, we should be having the fast digestive food as early as possible than the slow digestive food, so that we have the enough time for it to get digested. I have been following this from last 1 to 2 weeks, and I have seen the tremendous improvement in my energy level. So I would definitely suggest all of you that even though you are not eating from outside, but the right meal you're putting in your day-to-day life will have very tremendous effect on your way of behaving, the way you are being active at your work, all those things will be impacted if you mind your meals and your day-to-day eating habits. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vineet, for educating with us this about food and what should we eat and what not. And I think it is really important to know because we are all in this phase of lockdown where we can very easily do binge eating, right? So thank you very much. And moving on, we have a third speaker ready just in time, I must say, because he was running against the clock. But nevertheless, he is here and he happens to be our club secretary. But before I go on to him, let me just chalk 30 seconds for a quick feedback for speaker Vineet. So not more. So timer 30 seconds, please intimate me. In the meanwhile, let us all post our feedback to Vineet. Please post a one-to-one feedback to him. Okay, so we are ready with our third speaker. Our third speaker is our club secretary. He is ever ready with his notepad and pen, and he says that he has learned to be more attentive and adaptable to runtime changes playing this role. He is indeed the most energetic Toastmaster of our club and part of the League of Stars last month. But before I call him center stage, let me call his evaluator for the day, Toastmaster Soumya. Talking about Toastmaster Soumya, she is an internal auditor by profession. She had to once give training to experienced seniors. To shun away their awkwardness, she empathized and had a friendly chat to make them comfortable before the training. In my opinion, it is a mark of true leadership. Over to you, Toastmaster Soumya.
Thank you, Nimit, for the kind introduction. I'm the evaluator for Toastmaster Nasir. He would be delivering his level 2 project 3 speech. The objective of the speech would be to define how Toastmasters envision mentoring and to share some aspect of a previous experience of a prodigy. Timer, please note his timing for the speech would be 5 to 7 minutes. I'm looking forward for the speech, for the ever enthusiastic Nasir speech, and all the best, Nasir.
Thank you, Soumya. And I would like to call Nasir center stage. Toastmaster Nasir, learning from mentorship, Toastmaster Nasir, over to you.
Thank you, Nimit. A mentor is a person who shows us future possibilities which can help us in achieving our goals. When mentor teaches us something, at that time, we may not realize its importance, but later, we definitely realize it. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and all the esteemed guests. I would like to share a few incidents from my life which helped me. First incident, I have done my 5th class from a primary school where no English subject was there. Once I completed my 5th class, in summer vacation, I approached with some of my friends to Ram Singh for learning English. At initial, he taught us about ABCD, Then at that time, I came to know that there are two types of ABCD. I thought when we can work only by one ABCD, then why require two types of ABCD? But later, I realized its importance. He taught us about noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, and sentence structure, etc. Once summer vacation over, I took admission in 6th class in one of the inter-college. Their students took admission from different places. Some of them were from Hindi medium background who were not aware about English. They were facing problem in understanding English, but I was not facing much problem. Difference between me and them was, I was mentored by Ram Singh, but they weren't mentored by someone. My second incident, when I was in final year engineering, then there for taking placement, we required good communication skills, and some companies also used to take group discussion. There I approached one of my friend, Mayank. He helped me in group discussion preparation, and ultimately it helped me in my interviews. And recent incident, when I joined Turning Point Toastmasters, then I came to know there is a concept of mentor and mentee in Toastmasters. At initial, my indirect mentor was Shivam. He taught me about pathways, level, project, and about different roles in a typical Toastmasters meeting. Later, when it was time for mentor assignee, I directly called to Anand that I want you to be my mentor. And he agreed. He is very helpful. He is always ready to support. He taught me about all roles nitty-gritty. Right now, I am learning crafting and structuring a speech from him. And of course, you all are my indirect mentor. I learned from each one of you. And last but not the least, I always try to learn from my mistakes. My mistakes are always my mentor. A mentor empowers a person to see possible future and believe it can be obtained. In the end, I would like to say, we should always choose a good mentor who will provide us clarity of our vision, which will lead us to success. Thank you, Nimit. Over to you.
Thank you, Nasir, for beautifully explaining the role of a mentor. And I totally believe in you and in the concept of mentorship. L is for learning and L is for leadership. Yes, and for explaining that, I would like to continue with my talk. But before that, let us all have a 1-minute silence for providing the feedback to Nasir. I request you all to provide your valuable feedback to him on one-to-one chat. Timer, please intimate me after the end of 1 minute. And I also request every one of you to very enthusiastically applaud for our prepared speakers who have so diligently prepared these speeches and delivered them in front of us today. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the prepared speakers. You really did a commendable job. 3 different speeches from 3 different speakers on 3 different topics. To applaud, you can of course use the emoji on the reactions button you have there, right? There's a thumbs up and then there's a clap button. You can use that. Thanks, Shivam. So indeed, it is time to move on. So from prepared speech section, leadership is also about handling the uncertain and unknowns. Will that guest come to the meeting? How to encourage and retain the club members? How to track the club and member growth? The VP Education, VP Membership, and VP Public Relations. These head their own departments and handle all the challenges and unknowns in their respective areas. This brings me to the point where you all shall be given the opportunity to handle the uncertainty in our table topics section. To conduct this session forward, let me call upon the table topics master, who is an emerging leader and is currently leading a team in a digital marketing firm. Toastmaster Sumit Sharma, who thinks he can do justice with VP PR role in future as he has worked in the same domain. Thank you, and over to you, table topics master.
Thank you, Nimit, for wonderful introduction, and thank you, fellow Toastmaster and distinguished guest. Today, I am table topic master. My responsibility to conduct table topic session. In this session, I will give you a topic you have to speak on. There is time frame 1 to 2 minutes. You have to speak within the time frame. At 1 minute, a green card will be shown to you. At 1 minute 30 seconds, a yellow card will be shown to you. At 2 minutes, a red card will be shown to you by our timer, Mr. Shivam. The purpose of the table topic session to develop impromptu communication skills, which helps in 4 areas: organizing, listening, thinking, and speaking. I have noted down topics, so I will give topics to the guests and members. The priority will be given to guests and members who have not taken up any role. So this was the whole note about the table topic session. So let's start table topic. So first, I would like to start with the Rupender, who has been the very dexterous in the table topic master. So Rupender, are you ready for that?
I'm always ready.
Yeah, it was expected from you. So what experience from this past year do you appreciate most? Rupender, what experience from this past year do you appreciate most? Toastmaster Rupender.
There have been so many experiences ever since this year 2020 started. And I am not going to talk about the most plausible experience, which is the COVID experience, since everybody can talk about that. I will instead talk about an incident that had the deepest impact on me. March 20, 2020. I woke up to the news that my eldest maternal uncle had passed away at 91 years of age. The irony of the situation was that the night before, I remembered talking to my wife and telling her that we should talk to him in the morning because of the impending COVID situation. When I woke up in the morning, I learned that he had passed away, possibly around the same time that my wife and I were talking about it. It seemed so unreal. It seemed so surreal. I never had the pleasure of enjoying a grandparent. My last grandparent passed away when I was 18, and I barely knew my grandparents before my grandmother. To me, He was the grandparent I never had. He was the person who would always be there to guide me. I remember a conversation with him. We had a big ceremony when he turned 90. And I told him that, Uncle, when I turn 90, I want to have a celebration like this. And his answer was, Rupinder, to get to 90, you will have to get under 90. He was referring to my weight. Today, you can treat the speech as a tribute to the grandfather that I never had, my eldest maternal uncle. March 20, 2020, a life ended, but it inspired so many lives more. Rest in peace, uncle. Back to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Rupendra. Wonderful speech. Yeah, great spoken, as always expected. So the next question. So who would like to come? So I think Galaxy is name written there, and who asked me to. So Galaxy, you would like to come? So
Yeah, okay.
your good name is full Anu.
Anusha.
Hello, Anusha.
Anusha. Yeah.
Anusha, welcome in Toastmaster.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the question is to you: how do you get others to accept your idea, Anusha? How do you get others to accept your idea, Anusha?
To get others to accept my idea is to be a persuasive communicator. And to be a persuasive communicator, I know there are certain fundamentals in psychology which actually apply. They say that if you're powerful, attractive, or credible, these three things help you to persuade people to accept your process and your way of thinking. Now, I don't know if I'm powerful or attractive, but I can definitely say I'm credible. Because when I speak from experience and I speak understanding the other person's point of view. So if I've been, for example, if I've been given a problem that I have to convince the lady who works at my house to come to my house thrice a day instead of 2 times, I reason it out with her. I tell her that instead of having you come twice a day for long, long periods of time, it's important that you understand that work needs to be done sporadically in different quantums of time. And if you spend lesser amounts of time in my house, you'll be more comfortable. You'll be getting more time to yourself, and I'll also be getting my work done. With that, she's able to understand that in these days of COVID, she can come back fresher. She does not need to spend long hours on end at my house, and both of us are satisfied. So, to be a persuasive person, I try and appeal to her needs and I try to coordinate my needs with hers. This is one of the methodologies by which one person can persuade another. Understand the needs of the other person, coordinate them with yours, and then come out with what is called a win-win situation in psychology. This is my primary and my only methodology of asking people and helping people to get their needs coordinated with mine. So, credibility and appealing to the needs of the other person is the methodology I use in persuading. Over to the table topics master.
Thank you, Anusha. Well spoken. So we move to our third question. So who would like to come in, guest? Anand is there. Anand Kumar, Samod Kumar. You can raise hand.
Richa has raised her hand.
Richa, are you ready?
Yes.
Because I'm not able to see your hand, so sorry for that. So, what is your greatest strength, Richa? What is your greatest strength, Richa?
Okay. So talking about my greatest strength, well, I have whenever I think that whenever I face a particular situation, or when I have to uh, there has been many situations coming in life where you have to realize. So most of the time when we think about it, then I realize that at times whenever the biggest thing that we all face in life is that we get the fear. So that is something which takes away, means which overcomes us, and then what happens is we succumb to the situation. There has been many situations like that where I have also succumbed to the fear that gets created around ourselves. Whenever we have to take a stand for ourselves, or whenever we have to raise our voice against something which is going wrong, we totally believe that this is not correct, but then the fear inside us uh, over means overpowers us, and we do not stand for the correct thing. But I have realized that in the meantime, like when I went out to study, means when I went away from my house and when I started living alone, then I faced many such situations, and then finally I became a person where I can take a stand for myself, and I can raise my voice against all the odds that are happening around me. I do not succumb to situations, and I do not get overpowered by the fear that people try to create, because fear is a kind of an illusion which takes away all the good things, and which takes away the boldness of yours. It somewhere or the other, it makes you a weaker person. So I have realized that this is one thing which is a bigger strength, which has become a good strength of mine, where I do not feel the fear, and I always stand for myself. The second thing is that I love working hard. Like I believe so, maybe not, but yes, I have never whenever there has been a situation, I tried to come out of from the odd situations through my hard work. So I think these two are the biggest strengths of mine. So over to you, Toastmaster Sumit.
Okay, well done, Richa. We should believe ourselves. I also agree. So Samod wants to come. Samod, are you ready?
Yes, Sumit.
Hello?
Yes,
Yeah.
Sumit.
Yeah, sure. So, how do you measure your own performance at work? How do you measure your own performance at work? Samod.
Thank you so much, Sumit, for giving this opportunity, first of all.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Work is worship. That is what I feel when somebody asks me, how do you feel about your work? Maybe if the work you are doing in your office or in your corporate career, or the same thing, whether you are doing your own business, or be you are a leader and you are serving your citizens, or be in Toastmaster journey as well, be you are a division director, area director, any district officer, your work has the same worship as you do to your current profession that gives you money. So irrespective of the matter that whether you are paying for your work or your job, or you are not paid for any job or any service, there has to be the respect, the responsibility, the dignity, and the commitment that is showcased. It should not be biased when it comes that, yeah, it's Toastmaster is a non-profit organization where the leaders, where you have to serve, where you're not paid. But the point is, when you are serving the people, and that is the biggest, I would say, the job or the work that you are performing, rather than you are working in a job and you are getting paid in a month. So I believe do the work that gives you satisfaction, that gives you happiness, that gives you esteemed pleasure. And what I believe is helping people on ground, helping them or achieving their goals to succeed in their life. That is what it means me when I say the work. And whenever I go to bed every night, I ask myself, am I helping anybody to a step, at least one step ahead in their career? If I get the answer yes, that makes my day fulfilled. That gives me immense pleasure. That is how I believe the work is worship. Thank you so much. Over to you.
I agree, Samod. Helping to others is always a good idea. So, thank you, well spoken. So, we move to our next question. So, who would like to come in, guest? Anand, I can see Anand and Anu Seth is there. So, anybody? Hello?
Yes, Sumit, I can go for it. Anand is there.
Anand is there. Yeah. So, Anand, how do you respond to criticism? How do you respond to criticism? Anand?
I remember the very first time in my class 9 when I was elected as the school secretary. My principal called me that day and said that tomorrow we are going to install you formally as part of the school cabinet. I was really very surprised because I never expected to be the school secretary at most. What I expected was to be the house captain. The day I went back, one of my teachers was at my home because the very downstairs of my house is the very shop which my father runs, and he was there to pick something. So what happened was that as I saw him, I approached him and he asked me that, did the principal
I think we lost speaker.
Yeah, I also couldn't hear. So,
Anu, are you ready?
hello, Anu. Hello, Anu. Anu is there? Yeah, Anu. So, who is your favorite leader or why? Anu, who is your favorite leader or why?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master. Who is my favorite leader and why? I believe leader, every person has certain set of leadership qualities in himself or herself. And as per the time, wherever the current situation arises, that stamina or that strength automatically comes with self. So choosing one at a particular time is
Sorry, not able to hear.
hello? Hello?
Hello, Anu. Your voice is not audible.
Hello?
Hello.
Be loud enough. We can't hear you.
Hello, Anu. Can you hear us? Hello. Hello.
There is some network issue.
I think.
I believe there's some
So
network
I
issue
think.
today.
So we should move on.
Yeah, I
So.
think we're already very close to the closing time. It's almost 8:20. So I think we should
So
be.
timer, please inform. We should. So one question should be asked for Rupinder.
think we are going to be, because we need time for evaluations also.
Okay. No issue. So thank you. Thank you, Nimit. Over to you, Nimit.
Thanks, Table Topics Master Sumit, for indeed a very introspective questions you had posted with all of us, right, and very close to leadership, uh, the theme of today. The secretary, the treasurer, and sergeant at arms, often neglected, but are the most essential functions of the club, without which the club cannot function. Administration, finances, and logistics are the pillars of any firm. In Toastmasters, it is no different. According to DTM Rupinder Singh, these roles come with biggest learnings. It is the very reason behind we see him often playing Sa of a meeting, just like today. Talking about learnings, what better learnings we all can acquire from the third and the most important section, the evaluations. Evaluations are referred to as the breakfast for champions. So let us see what all champions are getting today. I now call upon the GE back to the stage to take over the proceedings. Over to you, Vishakha.
Thank you, Nimit. So I guess all our champions are ready for their breakfast. So I'll begin the evaluation section by evaluating the speeches. For that, I would like to invite our first speech evaluator, Sonali. Sonali, can you please evaluate Karinda's speech?
Okay. So one of the major advantages of having an online Toastmaster meeting is that speakers be can get more creative than ever, and they have the entire house with them that they can use as a prop. And who would have imagined that a bowling pin can be used as one of it? So, Karinder, a brilliant idea there. I love the creativity that you added. Your speech had all types of visual elements to it. You were clearly visible and audible, which is a must. You supported your speech with titled placards, which again, a great way to grab audience attention. You interacted with the audience while posing any question. Uh, a daring and a commendable thing to do in an online meeting. I generally refrain from it with the fear that people won't respond, but you used it as a good transition point in your speech and your props, which added a great level of drama and humor to it. So bang on these ideas. However, I would have liked to see those examples of the props enactments that you did at the end to be used in the beginning while you were explaining those different styles. Had it been incorporated in the starting, the structure would have been easier for us to follow because it looked like you were rushing at the end and you were trying to complete your thought. I also think that the speech's purpose would have come out a little better if your speech would have covered particularly your leadership style and probably you giving an example of it and supporting it with one or two real life instances. Your entire speech was not equivocate. It was an easy language to follow. So I had no difficulty in understanding what you were saying. It was all brilliant there. Just a small little thing I noticed that you were moving back and forth while giving the speech, which looked like you were a little nervous. For example, I fiddle with my pen and my hands whenever I'm nervous. It's something that doesn't go away very easily, but thought it's worth mentioning if you could work on it. Uh, Nonetheless, I enjoyed listening to your speech. Just keep that creativity level on. I'm a huge fan of creativity. So I'm biased towards it and keep structuring your speeches better. And I'm sure you'll just keep on delivering great speeches. Congratulations on completing this project and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonali. Now I would like to invite our second speech evaluator, Anshuman, to evaluate Vineet's speech. Anshuman.
Thank you, General Evaluator Vishakha. Mind your meals. Thank you, Vineet, for sharing an educational and informative speech with all of us. It definitely fulfilled the purpose of sharing the aspects of a well-organized and well-researched speech on any topic. The highlights of your speech included the question at the beginning that why are some people more energetic and why are some people less energetic? And the research-based PowerPoint presentation that you created with detailed visuals, I think that appealed to all of us and was very informative. And there were the interesting facts you shared around digestion and the habit of eating, and the conclusion that you gave with all the advices and the nuggets. They were very helpful in the entire speech case scenario. Your construction of speech and clarity of voice was really good. And the content of the body flowed very smoothly throughout the entire speech. And your comfort level with the camera was also quite good, that reflected in your speech entirely. And needless to say, it was a well-researched, well-presented topic. To challenge yourself, the next time you can experiment with standing and showing your body language and gestures more to connect with the audience. I think you've mastered sitting and presenting your topic. However, next time you might want to show your hand gestures or body language more to create better impact. Also, you can experiment with your vocal variety, adding different emphasis on the key pointers. That can take your speech to the next level. Overall, it was a very informative, very educational speech for all of us. Thank you. Over to you, General Vapid.
Thank you, Anshuman. Now I would like to invite our third evaluator, Toastmaster Soumya, to evaluate Nasir's speech. Toastmaster Soumya.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So Nasir gave a wonderful speech. He started off with a quote. So that was a starting point for getting everyone's attention. And also I feel attention being such a rare commodity these days, not for 1 second I felt that audience's attention moved or went haywire was because of the fact that he incorporated 4 examples, and those 4 examples kind of came in a full circle. He started off with the example of class 5 and then moved on to general discussion during his college times, then to the Toastmasters journey, and then the fact that his mistakes are also his mentors. So he gave those examples in a full circle, and that was really commendable. Because of these stories, he was able to hold the attention. The good part was his energy level was high all the time. The only recommendation I could give to Nasir is the fact that since you were going so well, so if you could probably spend more time in the speech, or if you could have mentioned the fact that what were few of those qualities of those mentor you would want to incorporate in your own life as well. And also the fact that when you are speaking of a point which is not so happy, you could include a bit of vocal variety, like going a bit slow or low, so as to emphasize the fact that this is not such a happy thing. Overall, excellent speech, Nasir. You're very consistent, very enthusiastic, and the content of your speech was very good. All the very best for your future speeches.
Thank you, Toastmaster Soumya. Now I would like to evaluate the table topics for the day. The first table topic speaker was distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder. You took your time on the stage, and to me, it looked like a prepared speech. Kudos to you for that. Our second table topic speaker was Anusha. How do you get others to accept your idea? You had your topic very to the point. It was flawless, and you used example to explain your idea, which was a very good thing to do there. Richa, your greatest strength. You have been a very regular guest to the meeting, and frankly speaking, I have seen a noticeable improvement in the way you handle your table topics. I remember once it was difficult for you to complete 1 minute on the stage, but today it was flawless. You spent almost you used your own time and attempted the topic perfectly. Sumod, the topic was measure your own performances at work. It was a very good attempt at the topic. Anand and Anu, sorry, it was like there were some connection issues and I could not actually get what was there in the topic. But Anand, I believe that you were narrating a story there. Kudos to you for that. Now to take the evaluations further, I would like to invite my team of the role players, auxiliary role players. First, I would like to invite the grammarian for the day. Sumit, can you please share your report?
Yeah, thank you, General Evaluator Vishaka. So I am here to present my grammarian report. First of all, I will point out the improper language uses. I heard one person saying perfectly saying, which can be said as well said. Moving on, I heard once 1 minute is over. The suggestion from my side is once a minute is over. Moving on to next, make it many simpler. Suggestion from my side is make it much simpler. I also heard one thing at initial. So it can be as initially. I heard one person saying they were mentored by someone. They were not mentored by someone. It should be they were not mentored by anyone. I heard directly called to Anand. It should be I directly called Anand. And I also heard wonderful sentences today, and some of them are to be persuasive. I tried to understand her needs and aligning it with my needs. I heard one person saying to get to 90, you have to be under 90. And one more, I always try to learn from my mistakes. My mistakes are my mentor. These are the good sentences which I have heard in today's meeting. And overall, one speaker used word of the day once, and her name is Sonali. That's all from my side. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Sumit. For now, I would like to invite our counter for the day, DTM Anant. Can you please share your report?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I will share my report and would like to share the screen as well. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So here is the report today, guys. This is in two parts. One is this simple tabular sheet. I'll just read it out for you. The report goes as such. The Sergeant at Arms was more or less flawless. I will discount any singular or a couple of glitches. I will just highlight the count, which is significant enough. Shivam, as presiding officer, had 7 asams and 5 times repeat. The first guest was also more or less, in fact, other than the second guest, Karinda, in his introduction, there was not much to debate about. He had 4 asanams and 2 times and or but. I will jump directly to TMOD Nimit. I must highlight that Nimit was in his initial introduction flawless, and he had overall 4 hours and 6 repeats. Sumit, as grammarian, had 9 time hours and a couple of times repeats and like. Vishaka, I missed you just there. Vishaka, as general evaluator, has so far 5 time repeats and 2 time hours. Then we go to our counter. I myself have taken about 5 hours, and one time I had in my introduction a long pause. Shivam, as timer, you have just a couple of, in fact, 4 and 2 hours and repeats. Karinda, as a speaker, I will highlight your main trends over here. You had 7 repeats, and whenever you use the phrase "what I" or succeeded by some other word, that made you repeat it. So be aware of that in future. And you also had 3 times cupping sound. Second speaker, Vinny, you had 6 time hours, and interestingly, other than a couple of so's and ends, you also used all right and now a couple of times. So beware of that. Third speaker, Nasir, you have improved a lot on your like and means compared to previous meetings. You used pauses rather today to cover up for your usual glitches. Good job on that part. Sumit Sharma, table topic master, 6 time so's. That is only thing I could highlight for you. Sonali, you have a tendency to begin your sentences with "a." Beware of that. The 3 evaluators more or less were flawless, barring a couple of R's, which are usual. The 2 people I would like everyone to congratulate are table topic speaker 1 and 2, Rupinder and Anusha, which are more or less flawless. I could not find a single problem in their fluency. In fact, Rupinder used long pauses, but intentional ones to good usage. Richa, you had 7 time R's and 5 time repeat. And the highlight of your speech was the word like. Count on that. Unfortunately, Samod, you had just a couple of R's and repeats. Otherwise, it was flawless. And I'm so sorry, speaker number 5 and 6, I could not just hear you properly. If you would just look at the report over here, I will share it in the group as well. These graphical reports will give you a summary. We have taken about 110 plus R's and repeat. This is what we need to cut down learning during this lockdown period. Online meetings make us use more repeats and R's and M's. That is the only thing we need to work on so far. That's my report. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Anant. Now I would like to invite the timer, Toastmaster Shivam.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Avishaka. I would like to start with the speaker 1. Speaker 1, Karinda, has taken 7 minutes 12 seconds for his speech. Second speaker, Vineet Sethi, he has taken 11 minutes 29 seconds. Third speaker, Nasir, has taken 4 minutes 57 seconds. Now coming to the evaluators, the first evaluator, Sonali, has taken 1 minute 40 seconds in explaining the speech objective and 2 minutes 30 seconds in the evaluation. Second evaluator, Ansuman, has taken 42 seconds in explaining the speech objective and 1 minute 50 seconds in evaluation. And the third evaluator, Soumya, has taken 33 seconds in explaining the speech objective and 1 minute 49 seconds in speech evaluations. Coming to the table topic speeches, the first table topic speaker Rupinder Singh has taken 2 minutes 27 seconds. Second table topic speaker Anushi 15 seconds. Third table topic speaker Richa has taken 2 minutes 12 seconds. Fourth table topic speaker Samod has taken 2 minutes 13 seconds. Fifth table topic speaker Anand has taken 1 minute 44 seconds. And the sixth table topic speaker Anu, I could not record the time since it was ended abruptly due to some network connection. Now coming to the various role players, Timot, Toastmaster of the day, Nemeth, he has used his theme and spoken about his theme in a very sprinkled manner at the different point of time. So I could not record the exact time. Table topic master Sumit Sharma has taken 1 minute 30 seconds in explaining uh, the table topics session, and the general evaluator Vishakha Sharma has taken 1 minute 50 seconds in evaluating all the table topics. Coming to the tag team, the grammarian has taken 1 minute 13 seconds in explaining the role and 2 minute 3 seconds in his report. And the R counter Anant has taken 1 minute 22 seconds in explaining his role and 4 minute 15 seconds in his report. And as for timer, I could not record my own time. That's all a report from my side. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Shivam. Now I would like to begin with the general evaluation for the meeting. Starting with the Sergeant at Arms. You did a wonderful job. The meeting started sharp at 7. Everything was set up and meeting rules were properly read out, and you were very calm and composed when you were reading those meeting rules, and everybody could make sense of whatever you were saying. So kudos to you for a very good job. Moving on to the presiding officer. We always try to, we always, whenever we enter any meeting, we are looking forward to the motivation, like why we are going to spend our 2 hours sitting in this meeting. And for that, you need a very enthusiastic start. You did a great job there, Shivam. You started with, you connected on the dots that Rupinder had laid and gave a very enthusiastic start to the meeting, sharing your own story. You made sure that every guest is introduced and also made sure the T mode was properly introduced. Moving on to the Toastmaster of the day. This is the time for the club elections. The club everywhere in the Toastmasters, even at the district level or at the club level, elections are going on. And at this time, choosing a topic like club leadership is a very great idea. And you throughout, you made sure that you made people, the members aware of the different roles in the executive committee and what challenges they can face and how well they should be, and just try to motivate people to take up the club leadership roles. Also, you made sure that every speaker that comes on the stage has a proper introduction, and every role player also had a proper introduction. This shows how well prepared you were for your job. Moving on to the table topic master. You started your role really well, made sure that you explained the table topic section properly. And it was a great start that you invited an experienced Toastmaster to start with the table topic so that the guests know what they what actually a table topic means. Kudos to you for doing a great job. Yes, and you also made sure that every guest is invited and everybody gets a proper stage time on this proper stage time. Moving on to the speech evaluators. Evaluator 1, Sonali. It's always delight to have you on the stage. So like while you gave a good introduction, you explained the objectives of the speech well, but there was one miss. You forgot to instruct the timer for the timings of the meeting. So that was a glitch there. So, and also while you were giving recommendations, every recommendation was very relevant, but you could have added some more examples while you were giving your recommendations. This would have helped the speaker to relate better. Evaluator 2, Anshuman. You were very patient when you were reading the instructions. So everything was very, very clear and concise. Same goes for you, like while you were giving some recommendations, I expected you to provide some more examples so that the speaker can relate better. Soumya, you followed the CRC approach well. Kudos to you. Moving on to the tag team, starting with the timer. You introduced your role really well. You made sure that you displayed the cards when you were explaining your roles. You gave a flawless report, and it was great to see that you handled all the slides and made sure that the slide without any glitch. Great job there. Moving on to our counter for the day, Anant. You had a very interesting start to the interesting start when you were introducing your role. It was not a very cliche introduction that we get, so it was great to hear that. And while you were sharing your report, you shared the sheet on the screen so that the speakers could relate it better. Great job there. Moving on to grammarian, your introduction was good, and you also explained the word of the day well. There was just one thing that I would like to recommend, like while you're giving your report, you can follow your CRC approach here as well. So while giving your report, general way to do it or easier way to do is like give 5 commendations and then 5 recommendations followed by 5 commendations, so that everything is balanced out and nothing is missed. Now with this, I would like to move to the general evaluation of the meeting, like how it overall went. For me, this meeting was rather very flawless and very smooth. Meeting started dot on time. There were no backouts, like we were not searching any role players while we were just trying to start the meetings, which was great. There was no audio or video disturbance. Great job, Tech Masters and the host for the meeting. Also, I noticed that in the chat, there was no unnecessary cross talk, which was great. And the way every speaker and role player conducted them on the stage showed that everything in the meeting was very well planned and very well prepared. Kudos to the education team of the club and the members of the club who did a great job there. So just one thing that I noticed missing was, although everybody in the meeting was enthusiastic, everybody was very keen on taking the roles and very keen on doing the roles better, whatever role they were doing. But as audience, we did not encourage our speakers well. I realized that even I missed it. Like there were no applaud when the speakers were coming on the stage. See, in the online meetings, there are a lot of benefits, but this is something that we need to make sure that we do not forget our legacy of clapping, applauding the speaker when the speaker comes on the stage. So I guess this is something that we need to take on as a recommendation for the next meeting, that we make sure that we encourage our speakers with a thumbs up or a clap using that emoji. That is it from my side. Over to you, Nimit.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, and we take that feedback in stride. And I encourage every one of us to enthusiastically clap here for the evaluation and or indeed all the role players up till now. So can we have a virtual clap, if not the physical clap for everyone? Thank you. The galaxy of this club is studded with such stars, but can we all make it even brighter? This is the question I would like to leave to everyone. I will be sharing the club leadership handbook as a takeaway for you all. For any questions, you can reach out to any senior Toastmaster in vicinity. Before ending my talk, let me conclude with this. Friends, club leadership is a very rewarding experience. I see myself as a much improved personality and closer to what I came here to achieve. But a big chunk of credit goes to ever supported president of our club. Service leadership is often considered to be the highest and the truest form of leadership. It's not dependent on one's position or authority. It simply depends on you. Toastmaster Shivam has displayed exactly that by leading from both front and behind. And he says that every Toastmaster should serve as a club officer at least once to develop leadership skills, as awakening the leader in you will automatically make you a better communicator. With that, thank you everyone, and over to you, the presiding officer.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Nimit. And indeed, I very much agree with the point. Taking leadership role is very important to extract the maximum knowledge or the maximum gain which we can take out of Toastmaster curriculum. Since many times I heard people saying, why should I take leadership role in executive committee when I came here just to improve my communication skills? For them, I have a short message. You can improve your communication skill much better when you are focusing on the leadership skill. Leadership skills and the communication skills are the same, are the different phases. Once you develop yourself as a leader, your communication skills will improve automatically. Automatically, the great communication will come out of you. You will be able to communicate, speak on the stage much better with time. So that's why I would like to encourage each and every member of Turning Point Toastmaster to take the leadership role in the upcoming elections, which will be held on June 18th. Uh, with all the fantastic performance by all the speakers, evaluators, and role players, it's now time to select the best out of them and to recognize them. So for that, we have a voting link. I'm sharing the voting link with all of you. And I will request you all to please vote. Uh, by going on this link, it's the bit.ly/tptmbote all in caps. Uh, so till the time you are voting for the best role play, I'd like to take the feedback from the guest so that we can improve day by day. So first guest I'd like to call on the stage is Anusha. So Anusha, please unmute yourself and share your valuable feedback with us.
The meeting for me, first of all, because I participated in the table topics, was interesting. At the same time, I feel that table topics can be made very creative. So the topics which were given today were nice, but they were of a level which could have been enhanced to a different degree. As far as the speakers went, I think they spoke very well and they spoke from the heart. And though at one point I felt that some speaker, I forget the name, could have paid more attention to the background details which were there. But overall, I felt it was a very committed meeting and there was a lot of positivity in the meeting. And everybody took their role seriously, including the general evaluator who paid attention to every detail. So, an enjoyable experience overall. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Anusha, for your valuable feedback. And certainly we will work on this. We have a different kind of table topic sessions in every meeting. Sometimes it's simple and sometimes it's challenging as well. And we will work on it to include more challenging topics in our upcoming meetings. Thanks a lot. Now I'd like to take feedback from our another guest who also happens to be the speaker, Toastmaster Karinda. Please unmute yourself.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I think I've spoken whatever I'm supposed to, and I found this meeting is one of the best meeting I ever attended, and I could see that everyone was very serious about their role, and the meeting was flawless. And starting with the timing, the kind of meeting is being managed is amazing. Uh, I do not find it any recommendation as of now. Anush, I think one of the guest has already explained about the table topic section, which can be better. Though it was amazing because the topic which I could see were really good, and people could connect to the topic. However, if we take the things creatively, then it can be more engaging with all the audience. So that's all I would like to conclude on. I'm looking forward to join to um, Turning Point meetings uh, whenever I get chance. So it's an extended family of Toastmasters. So thank you so much for giving this
Thanks a lot.
opportunity today.
Thanks a lot, Karinda, and we will love you to see in our meetings every time, and not only you, every guest who are present here. We will love you to see in our meetings every time and learn from you as well the best practices which have been followed in other clubs as well. Now coming to our next guest, Samod. Samod, please share your feedback.
Thank you so much, Shivam, for giving me the opportunity to speak today. I definitely like the overall meeting, and I have few um, the commendations as well. The kind of role played by the TMOD and the general evaluator was totally commendable. Plus, the table topics were less, but yes, if time permits, you could have at least asked for multiple topics so that the guest can and the member also get a chance to speak more. Yes, I have few recommendations as well. First, as the general evaluator already discussed about the enthusiasm and energy was missing in the meeting, that because nobody was applauding when the speakers hand over the stage to the other speaker or other role player. That is one thing. Second, I found that the general evaluator or there might be some table topic evaluator who can give a descriptive and feedback as well as commendations of every table topic speaker. That would help the table topic speaker to at least know what they can improve on or what they have done good. Third, I found that the general evaluator took much time in explaining or giving the descriptive feedback. That I believe that I found that it has given certain time period, 2 to 3 minutes when you are delivering your report at the end of the meeting. So I think the time is one concern that the general evaluator should take care of. Otherwise, I love the meeting. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Over to you.
Thanks a lot, Samod, for your valuable feedback, and certainly we will work over this feedback to make our meetings much better. Thanks a lot. And now I'd like to move to another guest for your feedback, Richa Sharma. Richa, please unmute and share your feedback with us.
Hello everyone. So thank you for having me here. And this meeting was really very nice, and I really enjoyed it. Starting from like the great, the word of the day that we get to learn, and the wonderful speeches that we had. So I really liked and enjoyed the meeting, and it was a great opportunity learning from everyone. And the way you guys are conducting it, so kudos to you. No, kudos to each one of you. So thank you everyone.
Thanks a lot,
Over
Richa,
to you.
for your thanks a lot, Richa, for your valuable feedback. Now I'd like to move to our next guest, Swetang Sharma. Swetang Sharma, please unmute and share your feedback with us.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shivam Prakash. It's been an honor to be part of this meeting, and thanks to distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh for inviting us to this meeting of yours. And it's been a privilege to witness some of the quality speakers. And the best part, which I like the most, is the table topics section. And when I see people like distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh and Anusha speaking, it's always a pleasure to listen to them. One thing which I really liked and I would like to implement in our club as well is the way the R counter report has been presented. That's something really impressive. And sorry for taking the snapshots. Whoever presented the R counter report, I have taken the snapshots as well. So if that's an objection, I can delete it. But if not, then I will surely use them in my club meetings as well. Overall, it's been a fabulous meeting. And again, thanks to Rupinder Singh for adding me to this meeting. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Shweta, for your valuable feedback. And I think there should not be any problem with uh, taking the snapshot. And Anand is saying that we can share the report with the guest as well. So you may contact to me or Anand, and we will share the whole Excel, the whole detailed report with you as well. And for the members, we are anyway studying it in the group, and they will come to know.
Thanks, Shivam. That's really good.
Thank you. Now for the feedback, I'd like to move to our next guest, Anand Kumar. Anand Kumar, please share your feedback with us.
Hello everyone. So I should say that what the other guest said, especially the R counter report, that was something which I will surely do take away from this very particular meeting. That was definitely one of the key takeaways for me. And I should say the main role players, whether it was the team mod or the general evaluator, they were calm and composed. I have just one recommendation, or rather I should say query, because I am the VPM and I think in that very particular fashion. I would like to know that how you are dealing with this guest, because I didn't saw any link where you were trying to get the details of the guest, and even the registration was not compulsory. So if that is a thing, I believe that this is a very technical thing, but you might miss on few guests if this is the way. So probably you could do is bring in registrations as compulsory, or just make sure that invitation to the WhatsApp group is that very link is sent over in the chat, so the people can join your group and then you can talk to them in the future.
Thanks a lot, Anand. And indeed, it has been a very great feedback and very important for us. And we will implement it as soon as possible. Since we used to take the guest information in the offline meetings, but I feel since the lockdown in the online meeting, it is getting missed somehow. But we will try to get back to it and implement it. Thanks a lot, Anand. Now, I will request each one of you to please start your camera and show a victory sign. Since we have completed a very successful meeting and it's the end of the meeting, please start your camera and make a victory sign, and then we will take a snapshot. So I will request Vishakha and Namit to please take the snapshot with all the members. And I will request all the members and guests to please uh, on your camera and show a victory sign. Please let me know when the screenshot has been taken.
Rupinder's video is not available.
Done.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Vishaka. And with this, I think every one of you have voted till now. If is anyone left, please let me know. We can have a couple of more minutes. So in case we have completed the voting, I will request the Toastmaster.
I think a few people who voted, we have more votes than we have.
Yeah, we have more votes than
Number of people in the meeting. Some people voted.
Okay. So I think some people would have voted and then now left the meeting, since I can see that when we
Earlier
shared
there
the
were
vote,
17 participants.
17 not 14. So someone might have left the meeting after voting. So I think it's a good time they should announce the results. So I request Rupinder to please announce the results.
Shivam, can you announce the results for now? Don't have access, then I will. Okay, I will announce the results and I will share my screen. Please hang on.
Have the access to the results of the link.
I got disconnected. Sorry, I'm sharing it again.
Okay. 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 No issues.
Okay, so the best role player
Rupinder,
is.
your voice is connecting a lot.
Yeah, I'm
You
sorry.
may share the results to me.
Can you just read the
On
results out, because my bandwidth is really bad today.
Yeah. Okay. So by the sheet, I can see the best auxiliary role player award goes to Anant Katyani. So a big round of applause for distinguished Toastmaster Anant Katyani and for his very initiative our counter sheet. So Anant, would you like to share a few words as in acceptance speech?
Thank you, Shivam. I think the credit for this idea goes to Rupinder, who has been trying it out in professional speakers. And we are just taking a leaf out of his book, and I'm going to share it, share this practice in the clubs that I'm coaching, example, AIG Toastmasters tomorrow as well. So anybody who is interested in this report, just a simple matter of Excel formulas, we all can probably, work it out. Thank you so much for your appreciation. Rupinder is the real guy who should get the credit for it.
Thanks a lot, Anant. Now the award for the best role player, and the award for the best role player goes to General Evaluator Vishakha Sharma. So a big round of applause for Vishakha. And Vishakha, can you please unmute and accept the award?
Yep. Thank you, everyone. Actually, for me, general evaluator, the role for general evaluator has always been a little challenge, and I am actually very glad to be to win this award. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot. So now I will request Rupinder to please scroll the page a bit above. So the best evaluator, and the best evaluator is tie between Ansuman and Sonali. So a big round of
our
applause.
MCs.
Our MCs, yeah. So MCs of our 150th meeting. So big round of applause for Ansuman and Sonali, and I will request both of them to please unmute and accept the award.
Ansuman, go ahead. Seniors first.
Your word.
Seniors first, please. I insist.
Because senior you, but anyhow, we're respecting the forum. Thank you all for those who voted for me. Like I think Sonali and I were exchanging notes offline that it was around 2 to 3 meetings back that Vishakha had given a very generous counter report for me in terms of evaluation. I think that triggered me that at least I should improve my R's and Ums. And I was very happy to see distinguished Toastmaster Anand's report stating 0 R's and Ums for me. I think that was the victory for me, personal victory for me today. In terms of evaluation, I think the speech made it pretty easy for me to evaluate. So thank you, Vineet, for that.
Same thoughts as Anshuman. I usually follow up, look up to him whenever I'm performing anything as a lead role player. This was my first time evaluating, so it is an honor again. I'm very glad to have shared this with somebody else as well. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Karinda, for giving me the opportunity.
Thanks a lot, Sonali and Anshuman. And now the best table topic speaker. And the best table topic speaker award goes to distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh with a big margin, and the second Anusha Akhurana is also very near a second. So a big round of applause for distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh for being the best table topic speaker, and a distinguished Toastmaster Anusha Akhurana for being a close second. So, Rupinder, can you please share? Uh, uh, can you please accept the award?
Table topics is always a gamble. Like I always say, you get the right topic and you get it right. And sometimes you get a horrible topic and you try to make the best of it. But I would like to talk about the Excel sheet that Anant was talking about. He's giving me credit unfairly. I merely created a process by which you could just record the R's and the ums. The presentation part, that is all Anant. I don't know the P of pivot tables or even the G of graphs, and Anant helped me put all of that together. So I think a huge deal of credit goes to them. I'm happy to share that Google Sheet with you. It is an automated Google Sheet. It has a script running in the background that does a lot of things for you, but then ultimately you have to take the data and present it. And that presentation is an automation that I'm still working on. So hopefully we will get it right by this month.
Thanks a lot, Rupinder. And now the most awaited award of the evening, Best Speaker Award. And there has been a very close contest in that, and Karinda has won this award, the Best Speaker. So a big round of applause for Toastmaster Karinda for winning the Best Speaker Award for this evening. And Karinda, please unmute yourself and accept the award. So I think Karinda has left for the day. And with this, I'd like to thank all of you, all the members and the guests for attending the meeting and making this a very successful online meeting in our list. And we will meet once again on next week, 11 June, at this same time at 7 o'clock in the evening. And with that, thanks all of you and goodbye.